Hello Amazon, I'm Marzia Prince, co-founder of Plant Chics, where we help you get off the diet and live a sustainable lifestyle. So today we are going to make 4 plant-based meals right in front of you, straight from the Plant Chics ebook. So we have a starter guide, so if you're looking to go plant-based, maybe you want to know how to go plant-based, because that's the #1 question we get beside where do you get your protein. People ask us, how do I go plant-based? Well, we made a 7-day starter guide for you so that it answers all your questions about carbs, fat, proteins, macronutrients, everything. And we have easy recipes. So if you know Jackie and I, we like healthy in a hurry. We do not like to make meals that have 100 ingredients. So we always like at least 10 or less. It's very easy, it's doable, and something that makes, I would say, a meal in less than 30 minutes. So, or less, even less. So I'm gonna show you some meals that are really super easy prepared, all straight from the Plant Chics ebook. So all these recipes you can get here. And for showing up today on this live and chatting with me, we are going to give you guys 10% off. So if you go to plantchics.com, enter Amazon 10, and you will get 10% off the Amazon book, the Plant Chics ebook. All right, so let's get this party started. So you guys know, if you're just joining, I'm Marzia Prince, co-founder of Plant Chics. Jackie is going to be moderating the chat. So if you have any questions, please put it in there about the recipes, ingredients, any of that, and Jackie will answer your questions. And then if you're new to Amazon Live, welcome to your very first live, your Amazon Live. So on the bottom of me, there are going to be, it's going to be a carousel of the products that I use and ingredients, because every time I do a cooking show on Instagram or Facebook or YouTube, people ask me, where did you get that? Where did you get that? Where did you get that? So guess what? You come to the right place. Amazon Live. It is right below me. You can get it today. So easy peasy. All right, so here we go. So the first thing that we're gonna do is, this is a favorite in my household. It is Mexican quinoa. We literally eat this every single week. I'm not kidding you. This is once a week. My husband likes anything Southwest. So this entire meal, of the 4 meals I'm bringing you today, is all plant-based, 100% plant-based, whole food plant-based. Very healthy, very easy to make. It has a Mexican flair, like a Southwestern flair today. And this is like some of our favorites, okay? I have all the recipes here, so I may be pulling it up, so when you get the starter guide, not only do we have like workouts and tips to answer your questions, we have a bunch of delicious meals that you guys can make. So let me pull it up really quick so I make sure I have the recipe. Okay, here we go. First things first, we are going to do Mexican quinoa. So my favorite thing about making Mexican quinoa, I used to make this on the stove. This was before the Instapot, okay? I love that the Instapot, if you don't have one, you're missing out, I'm telling you, is easy. It's a set it and forget it. You literally will throw all the ingredients in there, stir it up, put the little thick lid on, and then you'll plug it in, put the timer, and go. You'll come back, it actually depressurizes for you, and it's easy. So you can check it out below which Instapot I have, because people are like, which one do you have? It's right below me. So what we're gonna do is, this is how easy the Instapot. It has a lid, the inside, and then the pressure thing where it heats. So if you're not familiar with an Instapot, we are going to throw all our ingredients in here, okay? Now this is my kind of cooking right here. Like, if it calls for 100 million ingredients and you have to keep chopping and slicing and dicing, it's not my forte. It's just, you know, it is what it is. I want healthy, in a hurry, and how can I make a big volume for meal prep so I can eat those throughout the week? So that's what it's all about. You have, like, what was that quote saying? If you fail to plan, you plan to fail. So I don't want to fail every single week. So I will plan some healthy meals so that way I'm ahead of the curve on eating healthy. Okay, first things first, we are going to dump into our Instapot is black beans. All right, so I just got 1 can, I opened it up, put it in here. You can put the aquafaba, which is the bean juice, in there or not, it's up to you. I put it in there, I just don't care. It cooks well, so I just pour it in, boom, you're done. Easy, easy. You know, there was a study that I actually posted on my Instagram about beans. The more phytates, that's what's in beans, that you have, the healthier bones you are going to have. So you guys, eat your beans. Beans are good for you. Now I know in the beginning, people are like, oh my God, beans give me GI issues and it really distresses me. You have to add a little bit. Don't, when I say eat beans, don't go all or nothing. Put a little bit of beans in your diet, like 1/4 of a cup to each meal until you can basically garden your gut with the microbiomes that are from the beans. So you have to garden your gut. So if you're going from a standard American diet or, I would say more fibrolicious foods in your diet, if you add more fiber, add it slowly because your gut microbiome needs to get used to it. So let me preface that first, because a lot of people when they come to a plant-based lifestyle, it's all or nothing and they're like, why am I bloated and gassy? It's like, well, it's because you've added too much too fast. So anything with fiber, if you add more fiber, do it slowly, and then pretty soon you'll have a fibrolicious gut and a healthy gut microbiome. Okay, next, you're going to add a cup. So that was a whole can of beans that I put in. This is a whole, maybe 1.5 cups of pico. Now, you can get your favorite salsa or your favorite pico to put in here. What's in pico? Jalapenos, onions, tomatoes, little chilies in here. It's super good. Cilantro, if you don't like cilantro, like I said, make your own pico. But you want to put this tomato base in there because this is what is going to make this give that Mexican Southwest flair, okay? So I'm putting that in there. And you guys, this is a little cheat secret here. I put a can of beans, which is easy to do. All you have to do is open a can of beans. I bought this pico from Whole Foods already made. It's pre-made, so if you can buy your pico pre-made, and if you don't want to chop it and dice it, I like to cut corners sometimes, and that's what I did. So that's number 2. Okay, and then I have sweet corn, organic sweet corn. Make sure you get corn organic. And I have right here 1 cup of corn. Oops, a little slippery there. Okay, so dump it in. And then let's do 1 cup of quinoa. Okay, do you see a theme? It's about 1 cup of everything. 1 can of beans, 1 cup of pico, maybe a little bit more than a cup. Maybe I did 1.5 cups. I like a little extra tomatoes. 1 cup of corn. We have 1 cup of quinoa. You're just gonna pour it in there. And this is my favorite quinoa right here. I always get this one. Quinoa, it's actually, I don't know if you know this, quinoa is not a grain, it's actually a seed. So I love me some quinoa. It's one of my favorite grains. And then these measuring cups, I have them in different, these little glass measuring cups. These are some of my faves. And they're, like I said, everything's super easy. I have 1.5 cups of water. I'm going to pour in there. All right, so I have the bulk of my meal. What did I put in? Corn, beans, pico, or salsa, whatever you want to call it, and quinoa. Those 4 ingredients are the base. I'm going to go ahead and take a wooden spoon here, just kind of stir that up. And it still smells good, so if you guys, I wish there was a smell button. Okay, so the rest of the ingredients, we are going to put a tablespoon of our spices. This is what's going to give us that Mexican quinoa flair. So the first one I have is smoked paprika. I love a lot of smoked paprika. So just FYI, it calls for a teaspoon. I will put in 2. But sometimes I shake more. See that little chunk? It's going in. So there we go. Then we have some cumin. Y'all know I love me some cumin as well. And these are always hard to get off. So what do you guys like? What is your favorite Mexican flair? Put it in the comments. Well, you know what? This is an opening. It is what it is. So we're shaking the cumin in. Might be a lot of shaking. So sometimes when we do these lives, I should have had those spices prepared, but hey, it is what it is. And that's good. Okay, so cumin. And then we have chili powder, so same thing. You just want to make sure that you have enough, about a teaspoon of chili powder. Then we are going to do onion powder. I love me some onion powder. It just has that good flair. So a teaspoon of onion powder. And you guys are going to have to adjust the seasonings to your taste. I suggest starting with a teaspoon and then working your way up to a tablespoon. And again, there's going to be some spices that you like a little more than others, and you're going to be like, oh, I really like this. This one is garlic powder. And then last but not least is some smoked Chipotle red jalapenos. Now this one, I actually don't put a teaspoon in because it's actually too hot. So what I do is just a little shake, just a little sprinkle of it, that's it. I do not put much more than that. All right, and then we're gonna add a little bit of Himalayan sea salt. Just a little tiny bit, there we go. And then we are going to stir this. Perfect. And guess what, guys? I'm going to show you really quick. This is dinner, okay? So it looks like a sloppy mess right now. I wish I could show you closer. We're going to get this technical thing figured out. But this is what it looks like. Everything's in there, it's stirred up. And then you're going to take the lid. When you do it the opposite way, it's a little harder. You're going to take the lid and we are actually going to plug it in. So it is going to be ready by the time I am cooking another recipe for you. So check this out. So what you'll do is make sure you plug it in. And my favorite setting on the Instapot is rice. So just push rice and you are good to go. What's funny is my friend was like, what does push rice mean? And I'm like, it's a setting on the Instapot. And she was like, oh, I had no idea. So it's already set to rice. So I push rice and I hit start. Boom. Set it, forget it, and it's done till it beeps like that. That's it, that's all you have to do. So that right there will make about 4 servings. So me and my husband could have that for lunch, and then we could eat it the next day for lunch. So if you want to make more, if you have a larger family, you can obviously double or triple the recipe. There are larger Instant Pots in that as well. It's just me and my husband, so we got the smaller Instant Pot, but they have a large one, so if you have a larger family and you cook for a lot of people, I recommend getting the larger Instant Pot. All right? Okay, so next recipe, we are going to make tortilla soup. It's like, olé! So let me move some of this stuff down so you guys can check this out. Really good. Now this will be the healthiest tortilla soup you've ever had. And we're making it in the Vitamix. Okay, I love me this Vitamix. Let me tell you something. It took me a long time to break down to shell out the dough for a Vitamix. We all know Vitamix is the king of blenders. So something like this, it ranges from $500 to $700 depending on which one you get. I was like, oh, I'm not gonna buy one, I'm not gonna buy one. But I went through different blenders every couple years because I use blenders, I like to cook a lot. And I use blenders for my smoothies, you know, different juices, I would say soups, all that kind of fun stuff. And they would break on me. Every couple years they would break on me. And my friend was like, Marzia, you just need to break down and get a Vitamix. Hers lasted her 10 years. It was like 9.5. The warranty for this is 10 years. So at 9.5 years, hers broke. She sent it back to the company to fix it. And they said, hey, this is not repairable, and sent her a brand new one, which is good for another 10 years. So just FYI, Vitamix is good. And if you can't afford it, you can always do payments. Payments is a great way. I actually went to a food festival here in Austin, Texas, and they had a Vitamix person, and she was showing, she made like 5 or 6 recipes within the hour of us for 20 people of samples. Of course, she was giving us samples to try. And I was like, oh my God, how crazy is that? She literally whipped up from smoothies, I would say meals in here, like different soups, ice creams, you name it can be made in this Vitamix. I mean, it is insane. I was sold that day, I walked away with a Vitamix, okay? So just FYI, it was like the car salesman where you're like, oh no, she sold me, you know, here I am buying this expensive blender. But I have to say, I've had it now for almost 3 years and it's been worth every penny. There's nothing that this Vitamix I feel like cannot do. I mean, except for maybe bake, but it actually heats up, and right here, it heats it up right in front of you, so making a soup. I will spare you guys today of blending it for 7 minutes in front of you because it takes about 7 minutes of blending to heat it up, and you can just pour it right into the bowls. But I'm gonna show you what this healthy tortilla soup has, and it tastes just like tortilla soup, okay? All right, enough of me yapping and chatting here. I am going to put in low sodium veggie broth. So you can use regular veggie broth, low sodium veggie broth, whatever veggie broth that you want to use. In this right here, this is 6 cups. I'm going to put in 4 cups to see where I'm at, because like I said, here at Plant Chics, we eyeball things. We don't do everything exactly to the T. So remember this 2-cup measuring cup. I'm actually going to put 4 cups in there, and then we are going to see how that is, because we're going to blend these vegetables in there. And that's also going to make it watery, and I don't want it, not that I want my soup watery, I like tortilla soup thin, but blending these vegetables, we need to wait. So just put in, here's 2, and then we have 2 more. Oops, there we go. 2. Okay, so 4 cups of the low sodium veggie broth. Now let me show you this gorgeous plate of vegetables. Can you believe this is going to make our soup? It is going to make our soup. You're like, what does she have in there? So I have a half of an onion chopped. I like red onion, so it's a little purple onion. Anything with more color, like a fruit or vegetable, if it has color, each color has a different meaning, right? So there's more antioxidants in a purple onion versus a white onion. So I tend to gravitate towards fruits that have more color in it, as you can see from below. So I use a purple onion. I did half, I just chopped it up. And know with the Vitamix, you don't have to chop, slice, nothing. You can just throw it in and it will definitely blend it up. I have 1 bell pepper right here. Do you know that bell pepper has about 7 or 8 more times vitamin C than an orange? Yes. So you guys, bell pepper right here, you'll meet your daily requirement for vitamin C with a bell pepper. And I never knew bell peppers had vitamin C. You guys, I eat this in everything. It's about to be in my soup, but I will eat it with hummus. I eat it raw, so bell peppers, my friend. We have 2 Roma tomatoes. I end up just chopping up just a little bit. So 2 Roma tomatoes. We have a squash. I'm just gonna break it in half. All right. 2 garlic cloves. Oh, there's my little dog. Honey. I was like, you know, telling her, I was like, can you get the dog? All right, we got some celery. Uh-oh. She's mad. She wants to eat some tortilla soup. We got some carrots right here. Let's see how I'm telling you how full it gets. So I'm going to blend a little bit of this up, so just bear with me. We're going to blend, and there you go. See how crazy is that? It's not fully blended just yet, but we're going to put in portobello mushroom. Blend this up. Plenty. Now, there's 2 things that will make this tortilla soup, the taste of it. First off, my favorite tortilla chips. Have you guys tried this by July? Late July, these tortilla chips. If you cannot do corn, you don't have to put corn in here. What you can do is use Siete brand of the chips. Siete brands is made with cassava flour. So cassava is a good alternative to corn, and that makes it, you know, grain-free if you're doing no grains. But we love Siete brand, so I'm going to put about a good 3 or 4 handfuls. There we go. See what I mean? Squish to the top because of all the vegetables. But it makes enough for about 4 people. Let's see. Gotta do the kitchen blender dance. Here at Plant Chics and Amazon Live, we do kitchen dances. So There we go. We like to have fun. Okay, and this is all blended up, nice and delicious. Okay, so remember all the seasonings that I put into my Instant Pot for the Mexican quinoa? You could put those same seasonings in the tortilla soup. Or you could cut corners like I do. The Siete brand taco seasoning, this is the mild, you can get hot or whatever. This is the cleanest taco seasoning I have ever seen. Because usually taco seasonings have maltodextrin, they have all these crazy ingredients and they're terrible for you. This is the cleanest. It literally is the best and it tastes so good. So we are going to add 3 tablespoons of taco seasoning to it. Now if you don't have this, you could go use the seasonings that I just put in for the quinoa, and again a tablespoon, I would say a teaspoon of each to see what you like, and then you can gauge it from there. All right, so let me do one last blender dance for you. Okay, here we go. I'll spare you the 7 minutes, but you get the point. Here, my friends, is tortilla soup. So I'm going to put it on the pot and heat it up, and I will show you how you can garnish it and dress it up when we're done, because I'm going to go through 2 more recipes, and then you're going to see how easy this is. So if you have an hour to spare to meal prep, this is something that you could do on a Sunday to meal prep for your week. And of course, you will want larger amounts. It's just my husband and I usually meal prep for 3 or 4 days, and then I will do another 3 or 4 days. So I usually do meal prep twice a week, just so it's easier because we're busy and we work from home and we have to be on phone calls, and you know how it is kind of crazy. So you gotta do what you gotta do. But it beats ordering out because it's so expensive. And if you do not have a blender that heats it up like the Vitamix, you could just put it on the stove top like that. There we go. Because when we're done with this live, this is going to be lunch, my husband and I. We could start with the starter salad of tortilla soup, and I'll dress it up with avocado, cilantro, black beans, and corn, and have a little side of Mexican quinoa. So voila. Okay, so that's it on that. How easy was that? That's 2 recipes I made in front of you, just kind of chatting it out, right? And it's super easy. You just, once you have the ingredients, I mean, to me the hard part is going to the store, getting all the ingredients, or you can get some of them down here below and order them, have them come straight to your door, and then voila. I mean, things are really easy at your convenience, right? At your fingertips. But if you want to check out the Vitamix that I have, it is down below on the carousel. That is my exact Vitamix, because people will ask which Vitamix is better. There's so many Vitamixes. I put it down below so you can check it out, and it's super easy. Okay, so that is done on that. Next, we're going to make a power bowl. So let me just move this out of the way. This is going to be super easy. So you guys are just seeing me meal prep live right in front of you of foods that I'm going to eat. How fun is this? Eating with friends, enjoying with friends. Okay, let me bring this. And last but not least, let me just share the ingredients that I have with you. And then my cilantro. Okay, so this is what I have for today's. We're going to make a power bowl. This is going to be a Southwest power bowl. And we're going to start it off with organic greens. Now this is something that's super easy that you can make for lunch. Like 5 minutes later, boom, you have a healthy lunch. And you have all your nutritious vitamins, minerals, and nutrients by eating the rainbow of colors here. You're getting enough protein, carbs, healthy fats, you name it. All right, I'm going to use this cutting board really quick. All right, let's do this, because I'm going to have to cut this avocado in front of you. Okay, here we go. So to make a power bowl, I actually got some power greens. I actually like this brand called Organic Girl. It just has 5 different greens in there, so you're getting a little bit of everything. So if you want to know what greens are in here, you have red and green Swiss chard. Swiss chard is high in calcium. I really like Swiss chard. You have tatsoi, which I don't know what that is, but hey, Sounds good to me. Arugula, which I love the bitter flavor of arugula. It has that bite. And then spinach. So you have a little power medley of greens. And we are going to put a couple handfuls into our bowl. Now that's super, super easy. See? Right there. So when people make, I would say, salads or meal preps, they just put like greens and a couple of vegetables and that's it. You guys, you want to make your power bowl pack a punch. And you want to make sure it's filling, okay? Nobody can get full off the salad. I cannot get full off the salad. You have to make it substantial. So remember, it has to be a substantial salad. All right, let's grab this really quick. I'm going to add a few things too. So I'm going to add, remember, if you're new to the plant-based lifestyle, you're going to portion out your beans. I had, right here is black beans in here. This is a half a cup. So I'm going to make it all nice and pretty, put it on the side. I put a half a cup of beans. Now, if you're just starting out, I'm gonna say start out with a quarter cup of beans. That might be easier for you. But if you're a plant-based pro like myself, I've been plant-based for 10 years, I can literally do a can of beans. I'm not kidding you. So, and no, I'm not gassy if you're thinking that, because most people think beans equate to gas. No, once your gut microbiome gets used to it, you won't be gassy. Just FYI, it always comes up. It's like, oh my gosh, you eat so much beans, but you're just gassy all the time. It happens, but no gas, you'll get used to it. In the beginning, will you have it? Yes, that's normal. Okay, so I have quinoa here that I had cooked in my Instant Pot. I'm going to put a half a cup of quinoa. Now some of you guys, it was funny on the last Amazon Live I did, somebody was like, oh my God, it was so funny when you mentioned like poop or gas or whatever. You guys, what comes in here is gonna come out there. We have to have a healthy body. So talking about gas and stuff like that, that's normal. These are normal things. People like laugh at it and think it's taboo, but we want to have a healthy body. And everything that we put in, it comes out. It's got to be healthy both ways, right? As much as you can, okay? So here at Plant Chics, we say 80 to 90% whole foods, 10 to 20% soul foods. So, gotta have some fun too. Okay, so I put a half a cup of black beans, a half a cup of quinoa on a bed of power green lettuce. Look, that's like how easy is that? Okay, since this is our Mexican flair or Southwest bowl, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to add half a cup of like organic sweet corn, super easy. I'm going to take some red bell pepper that I had left over, and I'm going to make some slices. You guys, you can even saute this red bell pepper on the stove, saute in a pan to soften it up with some onions. Oh, it's so good. But I'm going to have it fresh and cold today. I want that crunch. So if you want less of a, I would say, crunch, then make sure your bell pepper is sauteed. And when you saute it, make sure you cool it off before you put it in here, or we'll wilt the lettuce. So we got a little bit of red right there. Okay, this is the fun part. Hold on. Oh my gosh. Dangerous. I have broccoli sprouts right here. How cool are the broccoli sprouts, right? So broccoli sprouts have sulforaphane, which help fight cancer. You want to make sure you add broccoli sprouts at least to one of your meals a day. They actually are more nutrient dense than broccoli. So broccoli sprouts are the little baby sprouts of the broccoli before they grow up. And they actually are more nutritious for your body than, I would say, regular broccoli. Not to say regular broccoli isn't good. You can eat that too. I eat regular broccoli as well. But broccoli sprouts are thebomb.com. So you want to make sure you put these in your meals. I don't suggest, me personally, putting in your smoothie. If you have in the morning, like with a smoothie, it makes it bitter. So I like to put it with a salad because it has a different crunch on the salad. And you're already having like arugula that has kind of like that. I'm gonna say arugula is bitter. I love it. Arugula is one of my favorite greens. I just can't explain the taste, but if you're out there and you're listening to me, you know my love for arugula and my love for broccoli sprouts. Just don't put broccoli sprouts in your smoothie. Jackie knows. I did that one day and I could not even drink my smoothie. I feel like I ruined it. It was too bitter. Okay, and then we're, of course, you gotta have avocado, right guys? So avocado is key when you are doing something Southwest. All right, so some avocado. We're going to put this right here in the middle. Look how beautiful this is. And then we are going to top it off with some cilantro. And there you go. I just literally made 3 meals in front of you. Mexican quinoa, okay? Got my tortilla soup, which I'm gonna add more to it. It's not just gonna be those vegetables and corn chips with some veggie broth. We got this big power bowl right here, and this is substantial. When you have a quote unquote salad, I don't even really make salads anymore. I make power bowls. Power bowls have to have different greens, a grain, add a grain. And if you are gluten-free, can't do a grain, quinoa is the best grain. Remember, quinoa is a seed, not a grain. And a lot of people who are celiacs can actually do, I was gonna say quinoa. So just FYI, I was gonna say corn because I'm looking at corn, but they can do quinoa. So I have corn, I have black beans. Remember, beans are good because they're high in phytates, which are good for your bones. So that is good. We got some red bell pepper, which is high in vitamin C. Broccoli sprouts, which is cancer fighting, okay? And then we have some cilantro for garnish. Now, you could do a couple different things for a dressing, because you're probably like, what am I gonna do for a dressing? You can buy some salsa. I don't know why, but I just love Whole Foods salsa, and I have it in my fridge, and I literally will pour salsa on here, and I will actually put some pico on there as well. So between pico and salsa, it just makes the power bowl, so it gives that flair. And remember, you can change these power bowls up. You can make them Asian inspired, Indian inspired, like it's endless how you can change these bowls out. As long as the base is the same, I would say that having a base of power greens, broccoli sprouts for sure, and you can interchange the vegetables to what you like, right? So it's all about having fun. You know, if there's an ingredient in the recipe that you cannot do, trade it out. You can omit that ingredient, or you can just trade it out. For instance, I had apple cider vinegar in one of my recipes, and one of the girls goes, I can't have that. I'm like, eliminate it. It's only 2 tablespoons. It really is not going to miss out on it. So you guys, be creative when you have these recipes. If you don't like something, you don't like corn, omit it. You can't do quinoa, omit it. Find something else. So what are good replacements for like quinoa if you want something more substantial? Potatoes or sweet potatoes, like regular potatoes or sweet potatoes. You can always plug in things. If you don't like black beans and you want chickpeas, have chickpeas, right? If you don't like corn, you can plug it with another different vegetable. Maybe you like peas. So it's all about playing with different fruits and vegetables, because at the end of the day, if you have more than 30 unique foods for your gut microbiome, you will garden your gut and optimize your gut microbiome for health and longevity. So the American Gut Project says you need over 30 unique plants per week to garden your gut. And I will keep telling you that. On my last Amazon Live, I shared Dr. B's book called Fiber Fueled, how fiber is essential for the gut. 97% of the US is deficient in it, and only 3% actually are eating fiber. So you guys, 97% of you, think of how much fiber you get in a day. Women need a minimum of 25 grams of fiber a day, and men need, I can't even talk today, men need 38 grams of fiber a day. That's a minimum, but you can do more. And guess what? 97% of us aren't even meeting the minimum. They say the average American gets 15 grams of fiber. That's really, really sad. 15 grams is really not enough. And just one of our meals, once you become plant-based and start incorporating more plants in your plate, you're gonna start seeing your plate, if you put it in Chronometer or MyFitnessPal, you're gonna get 15 grams in a meal. Like this right here, if I put this in Chronometer, you bet your butt, you're probably gonna get about 12 to 15 grams per meal. Now, if you're new to plant-based lifestyle, or you're new to adding more plants to your plate, you're probably going to eat half of this, because again, you might have the gassy or bloated thing from going plant-based. I know that's a lot of like, it will deter people from going plant-based. I had a girlfriend of mine saying, oh my God, I incorporated more vegetables and fruit and I was so gassy, I just couldn't do it. And I'm like, well, she probably went too hard, too fast, right? So go slow, right? Don't go fast, go slow, add a little bit. you know, I would say a half a cup of this, a quarter cup of that, whatever it is, to your plate so you can get your gut microbiome adjusted. Because whatever you're eating right now, your gut microbiome is used to it. So if you put something different in it, it's going to be screaming like, ah, what is this? So think of your gut like the Game of Thrones. There's good guys, there's bad guys. And you have good bacteria and bad bacteria. And they're always fighting, right? You want to make sure you put more good guys in there to fight off the bad guys, all right? You don't want to put a bunch of bad guys, AKA crap, calorie-rich and processed food. So if you have a bunch of crap that you're eating and putting it in there, the bad guys are going to keep winning. The good guys will not. So don't be discouraged by adding more plants. You're going to have to weather the storm. You're going to have to weather the gas. You're going to have to weather the bloat until your body gets used to the your gut microbiome, and your body gets used to the new foods. So don't be discouraged. It's completely normal. So just FYI. Just want to throw that tidbit out. So here we go. Mexican quinoa 1. We got tortilla soup 2. And number 3, we got the little powder bowl. Okay, and then last but not least, we are going to have a fun little dessert because you got to have some dessert, right? I'm going to open this up because I do not know the exact, because I don't make it very often. If you guys know me, I'm a savory person. I like savory foods. Sweets aren't my thing. I mean, I like fruit and stuff like that, but this is actually a little more nutritious and delicious for you. So, but I'm not a big, I would say, sweet person. So just FYI, I'm more into the savory type of foods. I like breads and popcorns and salt. Whereas Jackie, my business partner, who's moderating this group chat, she likes sweet. So we're opposite. We're like yin yang, you know? It's all good. Okay, so we are going to make chocolate avocado pudding. If you have not tried this, I suggest that you do this because this tastes so freaking delicious and you wouldn't even believe it is healthy for you. All right, so let me grab the ingredients really quick and I'll let you know what is in this because you will need to know. And it's in our Plant Chic Starter Guide. And again, you guys, it's 10% off our Plant Chic Starter Guide. It is Amazon 10. If you go to plantchics.com, you can go ahead and pick yours out and you get all these delicious recipes and it gives you the base of what to work with. And like I said, variety is the spice of life, so you want to make sure you're always changing things. I don't know if you guys hear this, but it's literally raining and thundering here. So my kitchen looks so dark, so sorry about this, guys. All right, here we are. So we're gonna make this chocolate avocado pudding, and I love my magic bullet because you can make a single use. Now I could use the Vitamix, I just have it over here, and make a big portion if you have a bigger family. But this is actually gonna be a serving for my husband and I can make a little dessert and we can eat it later. So I'm going to put it in this cup right here. And this is like a super, super easy, let me get this little recipe and scoot it over. Here we go. Perfect. So we are going to use 1 ripe banana. So the more spots on the banana, the better, the sweeter it is. The greener it is, it has more starch. I mean, you can eat it that way too if you like it, but just know that there's more, the sweetness to it, the riper it is. So you want to make sure it's just right. If I have a banana that's not too ripe, it doesn't taste as good in a recipe. So I like to really have, it almost looks like they're rotten. Just like you're about to make banana bread, you should do the same thing with this. Okay, so that right there is 1 banana. And then we are going to put an avocado in there. So I'm just going to scoop out 1 avocado in it. And so look, so the banana is our sugar. And then we have right here avocado, which is our healthy fat that makes it nice and creamy. Okay, so we're going to grab some water because we're going to need just a little bit of water, not too much. I would say if you're just starting out, I'm so used to eyeballing things. If you're just starting out, maybe add a 1/4 cup of water. Of course, it's in the recipe, but I'm just going to add maybe like that. Okay, so I have dates. I use dates on everything. I love these medjool dates. This is, okay, dates, two dates has 4 grams of fiber. So dates are attached to fiber. So the more fiber, I was telling you, even in your sugar, the more fiber you have, the better. So I like to put mine in the form of dates. I'll take the pits out. I have 2 dates and I'll add it right there. But if you're not a date person, you're like, I don't know about that, you're kind of scared, just give it a try. Put it into, I would say, a recipe and you won't taste it. They also have this date maple syrup. So instead of having maple syrup, this is lower glycemic, and this is actually made from dates. So they just compounded dates. So I've actually made date syrup, but like I said, if you're just trying to cut corners and you're not into making date syrup from scratch, this brand right here called the Better Sugar, just date syrup, is one of my favorite ones. So instead of adding dates, you can actually put dates in there. So it really truly is up to you. You can even add maple syrup, whatever your sweet is. But remember, I'm always aiming to add more fiber. So when you look at your plates or your desserts or your meals, think WTF, where's the fiber, right? People glamorize protein so much, and it really truly isn't about the protein anymore. No one's protein deficient. 97% of the population is fiber deficient. So you want to make sure that you're getting enough fiber, and that's including in your desserts. There are so many healthy desserts that have a ton of fiber that are good for you that you haven't even tried yet. Like back in the day, I thought it had to be all refined sugar, right? Which refined sugar has no fiber. And however you eat it, which don't get me wrong, that's a soul food. It's good for, it has its moments where you should have it. But if you're eating it on a regular basis, it's inflammatory, right? It's going to cause inflammation. You're not going to feel as good. It makes inflammation in your joints, your body, and your cells. So this right here, there's no inflammatory food in here at all. Unless you're allergic to it, then that's different. But we're talking for the most part. A date, avocado, and banana are not inflammatory. So you have 3 anti-inflammatory healing, gut healing foods right here for dessert. And now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna blend this up just like I did this soup, so it actually gets a little smoother. So hold on guys, you can see my blender dance. It's like I think I can. Hold on here. Gotta add a little bit more water when it comes to the avocado being put down. So it's a little creamy here. Okay, so I think I got it in this jar right here. All right. Still thick and creamy. So again, you're going to use water as your base to judge it. But I just need to make sure it put it down just a little bit because I'm about to add 1/4 of a cup of cacao powder. Now cacao powder is actually good for you, believe it or not. So this is the cacao powder that I use. This is Sun Foods cacao powder, but it's non-GMO organic. This is what's going to make it taste like chocolate, right? So we are going to add, let's add a little bit of water with this. There we go. So some water. And another blender dance for you guys. It might take you a couple times. There we go. All right, it takes a couple times to do this, but you'll get the right, did you see that? I opened it up and the cacao powder just went, whoa. Oh yes. Just the right thickness. Perfect. You want to make sure the avocado pudding looks like pudding. So this is thick and creamy, just like pudding. Now what I'm going to add to this is, where did it go? The cinnamon. So sorry guys, here we go. We are going to add a little bit of cinnamon to it, just like that. And I just say, eyeball it. A little bit of vanilla. So we have maybe 1/4 of a teaspoon. A little bit more. There we go. So we have our vanilla and easy. So this is what's going to give us the flavor of the chocolate pudding. Because real chocolate pudding, even though I remember having that Jell-O chocolate pudding growing up, it was so delicious. Now when I try it, it tastes so synthetic. It's kind of interesting. So this tastes even better than the chocolate pudding Jell-O. So hold on, another blender dance. Okay, so a little FYI, even though I do it in here, just know that the Vitamix could have had this done in 60 seconds flat. So that's why the Vitamix is so good. When you make this pudding, if you make a larger amount, just double or triple the recipe. The Vitamix, boom. Or you can put this in a food processor, whatever, you know, whichever thing you have. This is just going to be for my husband. All right. Okay, I'm going to taste it right in front of you. So I may need a couple blending. Oh, never mind, it's perfect. So good. Okay, so what I will do is put it into a container and put it in the fridge for a couple hours, and then I will garnish it with some raspberries. So it's really that super easy to do, and then we'll eat this later. Okay. And so here is the pudding. Put it in the fun cup. I will add this after it kind of gets a little thicker after I stick it in the fridge for a few hours. Then I'll bring it out and I'll come garnish it with a few raspberries, and voila, you have chocolate avocado pudding. You can eat it without guilt because it tastes delicious, FYI. So that's it. Oh, I was gonna say one more thing. If you wanted to add, this is my favorite mini chocolate chips. If you want to make it up a little more, this is soul food, not a whole food. These are vegan chocolate chips. You can always stir in some vegan chocolate chips, put it in the fridge for a couple hours, and then when you pull it out, you can add a little more chocolate chips on top if you want to go more the chocolate route, just to make it more fun. The kids will love it. Trust me, you'll love it. It tastes super good. You guys, that was it. Can you believe it? Let's recap the 4 meals. And this is actually done. So this is Mexican quinoa. We have right here, we have tortilla soup. And then last but not least, we have a power bowl. And then the 4th little meal I made was, where did it go? Oh, here we go. We made was the chocolate pudding. Yes, the kitchen is a mess, I know. This is what happens when you meal prep. What I suggest is put on some music, get the recipe, pull the recipes up, and go through each one and just dance and move and cook your way through the kitchen. It makes it way more fun while you're listening either music or a podcast. We have a ton of books that we recommend. If you follow us on the Plant Chics store, or give us a follow here on the Amazon, you can see the Plant Chics store. These are our highly recommended books. Do you hear that? It's done. Literally while we've been talking, it is done. Can you believe that? So if you have a if you have an Instant Pot, the only thing with this is make sure you unplug it before you open it up. My husband was like, how do I do this? And I'm like, oh gosh, good Lord, so watch out. So when you have an Instant Pot, you want to make sure you unplug it. And what I do, there's this little button right here where you press on the top. Just like that, I push, and it's going to take out all the air. You can hear the steam. You don't want to open it up, or that steam, it might get in your face. So I'm sure it will be hard to open, but there you go. And then when I open up the lid, you can just plate it. You can plate your Mexican quinoa with extra pico on top. You can add some corn for garnish. You can add cilantro for garnish. I mean, really, like, the possibilities are endless. You hear that? It's like now it's starting to simmer down. All right, I hope that Jackie answered any of your guys' questions that you have had on this live. But all these recipes are available in the Plant Chics book, ebook. So if you go to plantchics.com and put in Amazon 10, you will get 10% off all these meals that you see. Basically, you're learning how to do this. I know you're learning how to do this on the live, but getting the recipe book and following through, because people are like, I don't know what to eat. Jackie and I have put our favorite recipes into this ebook for you. That way you have easy recipes. And I made 4 things an hour for you. So if you could do this on a larger scale, you can make it for 4, 6, 8, 10 people, right? See, this is done. Did you hear that? Now it's done. I'm gonna open it up and I'm gonna stir it. Here we go. And then I'm gonna show you real quick, guys, how I'm gonna plate this, because this is actually going to be my husband's lunch. All right, so I'm gonna grab a bowl from the Mexican quinoa. I'm going to add some in here. And then you just add as much as you intuitively feel like you want to eat. So see right here, how delicious it's steaming. I'm going to add cilantro, delicious. We are going to add avocado. Oh, well, I don't know, oh, here it is. I'm like, wait a minute. The kitchen's a mess. This is something we have to do. It's like, whoa, what are we doing here? Okay, so avocado, just like that. So good. And then you can add extra salsa or pico on top, and there you have the meal. And remember, you can have this right here. It's actually cooking up too. Let me turn that off. I'm going to add some corn to the soup, some black beans, and then garnish the top with cilantro. So that's our meals for today, and we're ready to feast. I don't know about you. So thank you for joining my Amazon Live. Make sure to follow us, stay in tune to see when our next show is. Jackie is going to be doing yoga sculpt next Tuesday, and you'll see me back for meal prep with Marzia. So thank you for joining me. Have a great day, and I'll see you on the next show. Bye, guys. Oh.